Hey everybody, it's Party Elite. My vice president is sleeping with my secretary, and that secretary might be a spy. We had a really good point in Suzerain as we continue our live streamed Let's Play. It's going to be drama central today. I think we're going to have a fun time. I don't know if we're going to die. I don't know if we're going to get assassinated. I don't know if we're going to get assassinated by our best friend slash VP. I don't know if he's going to get assassinated for the recent turn of events. I don't even know if we're right. These are just suspicions that I'm drawing to conclusions over here. Maybe jumping a little bit. It's been interesting. It's been interesting. I hope your weeks have been interesting too, folks. I hope you've been enjoying April as a whole as we come closer and closer to its close. Thank you all for joining me today. Hope you've had a good start to your Friday as well, and for some of you, a good start to your weekend already. I can't believe it's already Friday again. So hard to keep a track of days at this rate. But yes, a warm welcome to all y'all who are hanging out, whether you're in chat or not. We got right off the bat, David Hallowell becoming a channel paladin. Mentioned yesterday about going into paladin mode, so a massive thanks for that right off the bat, buddy. Again, I say it all the time, becoming a channel member, supporting in that way, supporting with super chats and all that kind of stuff, it really helps the channel, it really helps these streams, so I appreciate it greatly. Thank you very much. I'll be updating the list this weekend, and yes, that end screen is getting an update. I'm working on it, but there are a bunch of things I'm working on actually for basically more or less the start of May. Hopefully getting it all lined up nicely. Jazzy B, how's it going, buddy? Natalie P, Bewitched Phantom. We got Omkar J, Van 28. Is that a cat at a desk? Is that what I'm looking at there? Adorable. Where was that? Where's that emote from? We have Nisarg as well. How's it going, folks? How's it going? Joshua Blade, hey hey. Sergio LP, how goes, buddy? Glad you can make it today. And I think I saw Jazzy B. Yeah, we'll be late because of work. Have fun, enjoy the drama. Man, I hope it's not too bad. I hope you can make it before the session's done, though. But good luck with work if you're hearing me right now. RenK1124, hey, hey, how goes, man? Wickles, how fares? Dragonfey, never watched an episode of this, but you have insomnia. Oh, no, because of... Oh, man, that sounds rough, dude. Food poisoning sucks. I hope you feel better. I hope it's not too bad. I hope you feel better. But hopefully this stream helps you relax a bit and also feel a bit better. Matt, how's it going? Never seen this game before. What's it all about? It's about you play as the president of a ailing nation. There's a recession. It's just a there's a refugee crisis. There's a recession. There's war on the horizon, and you get elected president, and you have to try and not just potentially reform the Constitution and get reelected, but also deal with family issues and deal with political issues and friction and diplomacy, making alliances, all that kind of stuff. And it's all a text-based political simulator slash RPG. So that's kind of like the game in a nutshell, if I was to do a quick summary of it. Elo Tree, how goes? Oh, I see. It looks like you did get some answers, actually, Matt. Sorry, I saw the question. I figured I'd answer. Classified, how's it going? Elena Kelly, how goes? Voguistripod Gaming. Hope I got that right. Hey, hey. How's it going, buddy? I see Netas just dropping the comment. Nukes. Hannibal OP, how goes? I see PartyBot is still being censored by Google moderators. Excellent. How's my voice from yesterday? I assume you mean bewitched. Still a little hoarse, but we'll make it through the stream for sure. I don't know about afterwards. I'll be completely honest. We'll see about that, but I can definitely already feel yesterday's 8 hours still very much active. Still very much active right now. All right, folks, let's go ahead and dive on in. Yeah, I didn't really spend too much time looking at PartyBot yesterday. I basically did the stream. I had my stream. I had my recording. I had dinner, and then I had some script writing to do, and then I need to just zone out because it was yesterday was a long day. You can hear it in the voice. Damn, I was hoping I'd be able to cover it up well, but anyway, that's fine. It's fine. We'll be fine. We'll make it through. We'll make it through, just like we're making it through our circumstances. Actually, our economy has kind of recovered from last session, or over the course of last session. You'll recall we were like deep in the red. I think we only had 2 pips at the beginning of last session. I think it was 2, maybe 3. But it was red and it was bad. We're not in a good situation. But over the course of last Friday, we've actually managed to bring it back up. Now, if I'm not wrong, this represents sort of the economy as a whole, like by and large, whereas this just represents our own like political, like government budget, the nation's overall budget, as opposed to, let's say, spending power or the employment or like employment rates or things like that. So while the budget has stayed stagnant at -4, we saw hope at -2 at one point, but then we had to make some expenses, and that dropped us a little bit. So while the budget has stayed somewhat stagnant at -4, the economy is recovering. Our personal wealth, ever since that one investment in pocket radios, it stayed at 2. We did invest in our drivers' kids' education, let's not forget. But we're doing okay overall. The budget, I'm hoping, once this agricultural zone down over here is done, I'm hoping we see the budget improve. I was hoping we'd see it improve after the highway got completed too, but that didn't seem to do anything for the budget, though it did help the economy. So, at least it's something for us. Makes me a little bit nervous because I would like to not be operating at a deficit at all times. But hey, with this, we are strengthening our education system. We're strengthening our healthcare. We're also strengthening our chances of not getting reelected. But whatever, that's all par for the course, right? Beyond that, what else happened? Right, we went to Lesbia over here via train to speak with their alcoholic, what is it, Prime Minister, is it? I forget. President, yes. To speak with their president, who was actually an alcoholic. I'm not just like throwing shade. He's an actual alcoholic. We sat down to speak with him after breaking his like teapot that he had on display, and he was being a bit of a he wasn't being a team player. Let's put it that way, right? Let's put it that way. And he was making demands, and he was being very unreasonable. And honestly, I was just like, I wasn't gonna have any of it. He was being rude, and we left him hanging. So we might live to regret that. We might die regretting that, or it might not matter at all. But the Republic of Lesbia is a conversation we probably will not be having again. Our allies remain Wellen and Agnolia, though, from many sessions ago. Lesbia would have been nice to have, probably would have helped our economy quite a bit, but they were making some demands that would have actually cost our government budget, which is just like the exact opposite of what I needed to get done with Lesbia. So why would I shoot myself in the foot, right? Now, that conversation probably could have gone better. I probably could have positioned myself a bit better and been a bit more sort of strong-armed. The thing is, like, it's a weird diplomacy is a weird thing, right? And it's weirder when tone and stuff like that isn't as easy to tell, because a lot of times you can absolutely be nice and still become like harsh when you need to be, whereas typically I found that with Suzerain it's not quite like that. You need to put your foot down right off the bat, or you need to be easy on folks right from the beginning, which isn't necessarily how these conversations work. But I do wish I'd kind of like got that vibe before we had this conversation with Lesbia, because I was a bit too easy on the president, and I was never given a choice, I guess, to get back into to get back in charge of the conversation, I guess, so to speak. But that's all really small considerations compared to the big revelation from last time, and that is what I said right at the beginning. My vice president is sleeping with my secretary, and my secretary might be a spy. Roomberg has been on the war footing with us for a very long time now, and we recently acquired a whistleblower from Roomberg, maybe like 4 or 5 sessions ago. That whistleblower told us that there is a spy in our midst, and so my chief strategist, he had some suspicions to begin with. He planted a bug in my vice president's office, which, questionable behavior. Maybe we shouldn't do that. However, clearly it was a good idea, because that's how he found out that he was sleeping with a secretary, with my secretary, and she was asking a lot of suspicious questions. So we don't know for sure yet, but she was asking a lot of suspicious questions about our diplomatic efforts. Also, my vice president said I had a stick up my ass, so that's also not appreciated. If you're gonna talk smack about me, you do it to my face, right? Like, that's what friends do. If you do it behind my back, you let me know you did it behind my back, so that I don't have to find out do a tape recording just before you ask my... Yeah. Let's put it like that, shall we? Diplomacy isn't weird. People are weird. Well, diplomacy is the result of two people or multiple people speaking. So by inheritance, I guess, diplomacy becomes weird. Listening while having dinner, Nasark. Sounds good. Sounds good. We'll quite some time. We'll be quiet for some time in the chat. Gotcha. Sounds good. Well, enjoy the meal, buddy. Hope it's a good one. Abdul Mese, how's it going, man? Warren to you as well. Ivelo Zlatkov. Oh my god, that's like the Peter clapping spy cheeks, bless his soul. I just that's excellent word choice. Poetry. Yeah, the ends justify the means in this time. In what sense are you talking about? In terms of diplomacy, or in terms of what were those words again? Peter clapping spy cheeks. Marcus, how's it going, buddy? You didn't miss much. Just the recap. So if you were there for for last week's session, you will be completely caught up, and we're gonna dive in. Sean, you got to start with a little recap. It gives people time to join in, and it's also important for anybody that missed a section, especially of such an eventful session. It's just important to do a little recap, and it helps me as well get my head back in the game. I forgot about the Lesbia conversation until I looked at the map, and I was like, oh right, yeah, this whole ordeal that we went through. The reason why I forgot about Lesbia is because we're busy dealing with this. Unless, Sean, you mean what is this? When you say telenovela, do you mean a soap opera? Are those like synonyms? Because yes, this is starting to feel a bit like a soap opera. Fun fact, soap operas are called soap operas because that's when advertising for all household things would happen. Because typically at the time when they first were created, housewives would be watching TV and you would market household products to housewives. So all the advertising would be things like detergents and soaps and all that kind of stuff. And so they became soap operas. With that fun fact, let's go ahead and dive on in. Crusader Kings 3 live stream will be on Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. So same start time as today, except on Monday. Alright, the result of the affair scandal. The office of the President of Sordland, that's me, not for long, the Maroon Palace. Let's see what the hell is going to come our way with this. Alright. Oh, okay, we're actually a few days in the future. So by the way, we had a heart-to-heart with our maybe former vice president, soon to be former vice president, and maybe former best friend Peter. We had a heart-to-heart with him on the rooftop of our old campaign offices, and dude was like almost suicidal. By the way, he got caught cheating on his wife, and his wife wants to divorce him, which, no surprise there. I think we saw that coming right at the beginning of this entire series. No, Joshua, nice try. You have no big allies, no budget for military, so war with Runeberg is a big chance. We'll make it work. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. We're fine. Several days had passed since I ordered the investigation into my secretary, Livia Suna. Both Peter and Livia had begun acting unnaturally nice to me, believing I'd let them off the hook for their affair. They seemed to be avoiding each other in the hallways, though. I was just settling in behind my desk when Lucian knocked on my door. Sir, a moment of your time? I think using words is nicer than just waving your hand at somebody, so yeah, of course. Lucian entered my office and closed the door behind him. Our security team traveled to Lackhaven to speak to the owners of the pub Miss Suno named. They confirmed that one Livia Suno had worked there. The description of her did not match that of your secretary. However, it did match that of an unidentified corpse that washed up in Lenkirk Bay 2 months before your inauguration. Dude, we are going deeper and deeper into this rabbit hole. Oh my god. This is no haha spies, haha espionage. This is presumably Runeberg, I can't imagine it'd be anybody else, has done their work. They found somebody that they assassinated, that they let her assume the identity of. Jesus. I got a little dark right off the bat over here. Yeah, exactly. It turned grim, exactly. And that's right, Natalie. Here we go indeed. Wild. Alright. 2 months before my inauguration, eh? So I'm assuming it's after I won, but before I was inaugurated, so they knew what was coming, I guess. If that was Livia Suno, who's the woman working for me, this is an appropriate response. Oh shit, yeah, a little bit. You know what? Oh shit. Further investigation by our operatives in Roomberg matched Miss Suno's description to a woman named Ilana Vance, last seen graduating from Crimsard Political Sciences Institute. Okay. Our whistleblower from Roomberg recognized the name Vance as belonging to a deeply embedded covert agent, although he had previously assumed it was a man. Wow. That lying, two-faced succubus. Woof. I love the writing on the name calling, and when we're mean, I love how mean we get. It's great. You should have figured this out ages ago. No. My God, you were right. I never should have doubted you. How could we have missed all this? I want to ask, where was the security lapse over here? I mean, I know where it was. It was below Peter's belt, evidently, but how could we have missed all this? As mentioned, Ms. Suno was hired without a background check. It's possible this all could have been avoided had any of Mr. Vectron's blood flow been directed to his brain when he selected her. That is hilarious, man. Honestly, if we have to get rid of Peter, if he has to resign and I have to pick a new VP, I think it might just be Lucian. I've said it time and time again, dude is a homie and he is hilarious as well. Oh, and he thinks like me. And he thinks like I do. Like I said, the decision was made below Peter's belt. Oh man. Laps was in his pants. Exactly, Wickles. Yeah, oh shit, feels like a bit of an understatement given the situation. But none of that can be helped now. The question is, what are you going to do, sir? Arrest her for treason. Now, yeah, this is a funny question. Is it treason? It's not. She's not being treasonous. If she's not a Swordish citizen to begin with, she's not being treasonous. I could probably arrest her for, like, crimes against the state, or for espionage, or for countless other things, right? I'm going to have Peter castrated as an interesting option, but I don't think we're going to do that, and I can't be sure if we're being sarcastic there or not. What do you think I should do? What do you mean I'm going to murder them both? Oh, okay. Wow, well, there's an escalation. I'm curious what Lucien thinks. Listen, you know what? I think, is it treason or is it true love? Sometimes they're one and the same. Pick your wife as your VP? No. We don't need someone who's pro-nepotism as long as it benefits her in office. I mean, arresting her for treason, or for, air quotes, whatever, treason, makes sense. But I'm curious what Lucien has to say. If we really do have to ask Peter to resign, which I don't know if we do that. I don't know if that's a justified thing to do. I think it's justified. He's put at risk not just our re-election, but our nation as a whole. Like, thinking beyond myself, if there is war from Roomberg because of what Peter has revealed and potentially said, and a bunch of people from Sordland must die, he can't stay as the VP, right? I don't think I'm going to castrate him either. No. I don't think we're going to castrate him. Can I pick Gloria so you can have that side for support? I don't know if we'll get it. She was being problematic during our reforms as well, you'll recall. I'm going to ask Lucien, though, to test... Again, I'm like throwing this out there. We don't even know if that's a thing. I don't even know if I can ask Peter to resign. I don't know if he's still going to commit suicide. I'm just throwing it out there. Because last session we kind of spoke about, like, what happens to Peter. I want to see what Lucien says. What do you think I should do? Because he's my prime candidate for replacement, I think, if he's even an option, if it's even a thing that happens. It's like a... But obviously, castrate Peter. That dumb idiot, if you wanted a hot secretary, all I need to do is have a background check on only hot secretaries. This could have been avoided. The guy is not smart. Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, look, if you want it to be, this way, let's put it that way. If you want it to be this way, then he could have been this way while also doing background checks. You're like 100% right there. And this is a way to gauge his ambition too, you're right. Joshua asks, so which direction are you going? Do you mean in terms of like socio-economically and politically, or do you mean with this conversation? Alright, what do you think I should do? I didn't mean to click on that smug mug. The standard procedure would be to try Miss Suno for treason. Is it considered treason when she's a spy? Anyway, if we do so, it's only a matter of time before the media pieces together what happened. I'll look like a fool for having her under my nose this entire time. Oh my god, outwitted by a woman. It won't look good. Yikes. What if there were no trial? Ooh. No. Oh man. Always have her assassinated. My god, Bewitched Phantom. Sean, is that your prediction? This is a tough one. The last interaction wasn't that good. Which one do you mean? Is that Fizz George? I don't know if I got that wrong. But what do you mean by the last interaction? Which one? Skyfall. Why'd you say that? I've been loving this game. Are we 100% sure she's a spy? That's the question, is the thing. If we were 100% sure, I would say, what if there were no trial? Because we're only 90% sure, I wish we could just have her offed, because that's how the world actually works. Grim, yes, but that's how the world actually works. Again, I could see what Lucien says about this. Let's see what he says, right? Maybe we are on the on the same wavelength. Exactly, I could disappear her. Hopefully, Sergio, make her disappear. So where is, in terms of ideology, what are you going for? Yeah, we're trying to. We've been trying to do like a mixed economy, Soc Dem mixed economy approach. It's not been going too smoothly because a mixed economy doesn't always present itself as an option, as I've found over the course of playing this series. Yeah, that's true actually, literally. The whistleblower recognized her real name. Like, she's probably almost definitely a spy. Probably almost definitely, right? You know, like 99% she's a spy. Question is, though, we don't know under what circumstances that name was recognized, right? Like, if this whistleblower was told, like, hey, yeah, do you recognize the name Vance from Roomberg that could potentially be a spy? And the whistleblower's like, oh, this is a chance for me to get in good with these guys. Yeah, that totally, I recognize the name, but oh, I thought it was a guy. You know, like, you don't know the circumstances in which this conversation happened. Though, we have to assume that our staff aren't all idiots. Though I will look like a fool for having her under my nose this entire time. Lucien, what do you say? That's why you must let Mr. Vectorn take the fall. He isn't wrong, but it's also a good show of his ambition, I think. That's what I was thinking. Is like, why isn't an interrogation an option? But no, it's either straight to trial or. If Lucien is a spy, you'll die. I don't think Lucien's a spy. I'd be shocked. No, you can't lock her in prison and forget about it, because what if she gets out? What if something happens, and what if people find out? You don't. No, you get offed, or you don't even get exiled sometimes. Sometimes you get exiled, or you get offed. Just look at the real world, right? It happens. It is Peter's fault. It is Peter's fault. He's not wrong in this statement. He absolutely should take the fall. He's the one who picked her, and then the rest also. Well, these are interesting options. I know his actions were problematic. Ellipses. This is my fault as much as his. I should have suspected something. No, I think that's unfair. Like, I'm the president. How many responsibilities can I take on, right? Running a background check is not too much to ask of my staff. No, I told you Peter did nothing wrong is a lie, and that's just not the case. I know you think you'd be a better vice president, but enough is enough. I don't think that's... I think he'd be a better vice president, and I don't agree with that last statement. So I guess my only option really is this first one. This is a weird set of options. None of them exactly jive with me, but we'll go with this first one. Ease, how's it going, buddy? Glad you could make it. I was wondering where you were. I was like, Ease isn't around to see what might be my downfall, or a very otherwise dramatic session still. Elo Tree, you're headed out? Sounds good. Thanks for dropping by, buddy. Have yourself a wonderful rest of your Friday if you don't manage to make it back. And hopefully I'll catch you on Monday or in the Discord or something. Have a good one, buddy. Oh, I see. Easy. Got another meeting. Gotcha. Well, good luck with that one. Meeting for another 2 minutes. All right. Hopefully things don't blow up by the time you're back. So we've moved on to another game by the time you're back. Make her a double agent. I don't know if that's an option at all. She's Roomberg tends to breed some serious loyalties, like loyalists rather. I know his actions are problematic. Problematic is an understatement. Mr. Vectron put you in danger by failing to order a background check on your closest personal staff. He betrayed your confidence to a woman with whom he was committing adultery. Anton, would you do the same to your so-called best friend? Exactly, man. You're stabbing me in the back by stabbing her in the back. I mean, it's just like, it's not cool. It's like, there's a lot of problems. He went above and beyond in terms of screwing, again, not just me, the secretary, but also the nation. For a woman I loved, maybe I would. Not a chance, dude. Don't know, I can't put myself in his shoes. I mean, true, but no, I wouldn't. No. Loose inside. I'm your chief strategist. I've advised you on what I believe is the best strategy. But of course, the ultimate decision is yours. It's interesting. Peter wasn't an option until Lucian brought it up. Friendship ain't a one-way street. That's true. I'd like to think we've been nothing but good to Peter. He really did. I mean, jokes and wordplay aside, he really did screw us here. He really did. Also, yeah, I'm evidently there's a spoiler in chat somewhere. Please, no spoilers in chat. This is my first playthrough. I want to have it be. I want surprises when there are surprises to be had. He's most definitely going to commit suicide. Oh, I don't know, man. Maybe we can soften the blow. I mean, Sean, that's, you know, like, it's like what you do in your time is your business, but background check, and dude, like, let me know, so I don't have to find out like this, you know what I mean? Besides, there's like thousands of other people out there. Why you gotta go after the president's secretary? He's right, the closest personal staff. She knows my literal comings and goings. She also knows Peter's comings and goings. She knows my day-to-day ins and outs. She also knows Peter's day-to-day ins and outs. I'm sorry, I can't stop myself. I'm gonna try though. No, but for real though, it's a serious problem. I don't like that. See, I don't like that our word choice here is scapegoat. Is he our scapegoat, or is he the one that is responsible? They're two different things. They're two different things. No, the problem is that if we just blame Livia or Ilana, people will start putting two and two together. They'll realize that. Oh, I don't know. This is a tough one. One might make him more depressed and potentially suicidal, I guess, sure, but like, so too might three, right? Because like, look at it this way, because we can do a lot of what ifs, right? What if he feels like by blaming Livia, it proves that I don't trust him, and now he's lost the woman he loves and also the woman he's married to. What is there to live for? I should just kill myself. It's you're only ever so many steps away from suicide, or you know what I mean? Again, this is a grim session, man. But like, I will shoulder the blame along with him. That just as easily. How could I do this to my best friend? He trusted me all my life. We were so close, and now he's here taking the blame with me. How could I do this to you, buddy? I don't deserve to live. I'm gonna kill myself. Any one of these could lead to suicide for Peter. Any one of these, like, Peter's not in a good state. I don't like that it says scapegoat. That's my issue with this, but at least I could talk to Peter. I could talk to Peter with either of these three, but three, I think, is more likely to lead to a suicide. At least, I mean, he's gonna lose that relationship either way. Man. Yeah, I'm not gonna shoulder the blame. I don't think I did anything wrong. I think two is, think 2 is unfair to us. Nah, party bot isn't fixed, unfortunately. Is able to say some things, but not others. I don't know why. It's your VP, you're the president, so you can shoulder some of the fault. I just don't know how much. And besides, I'm already relatively unpopular. No, we're not gonna go with 3. I don't think we're gonna go with 3. Jesus, man, this is a tough one. Usually, I mean, I guess this is a blend of political and personal decision. That's why it's taking me so long to come to a conclusion here. Let's see. Yeah, I think it's the links Wickles. I gotta figure out what the deal is. Why it doesn't like my store link or my social links. Blame the traitor. Flip a coin. Honestly, it's tempting, isn't it? Kai Pasley, when you say he is knee deep in problems, I assume you mean us, right? Like ourselves. If I shoulder the blame, we're definitely not getting reelected if I shoulder the blame. My concern is, if we blame Livia, Lucy, he's my chief strategist. I gotta trust him a little bit, right? He suggests that it would not end well for us. Artonicus has a point there as well. This is entirely his fault. This is entirely his fault. Pity has no place here, says Undef. Yeah, you know what? It's entirely his fault. I wish the game didn't call him a scapegoat, because that's unfair to us. A scapegoat implies he's not actually guilty, or he's only marginally guilty, and we're using him as an out. That's an unfair way to phrase it. It is his fault. And you know what? I mean, gee, I hope the worst doesn't happen, obviously, but I fear it might. Very well. I shall write a statement for you to read at the press conference. I'll leave you to handle Miss Vance. Why? With pleasure? Ugh. In the context, that's not... Thank you, I guess. Lucy nodded and walked out. I called Carl Greaser from my desk and explained the situation. After a few minutes, I rang for Livia. She entered my office. Is there something you need, Mr. President? Come on, man. Yes, I need you to stop pretending. Oh, how do I approach the situation, right? Loose lips sink ships is very true. Time for Peter to go down with the ship. I don't disagree. What if Lucin is the secret spy? I mean, like I was saying earlier, we could do a lot of what ifs, right? What if I'm the spy? I'm joking, obviously, but there's a lot of what ifs we can do. We have to work with the evidence we're given. Because we can't personally go and read the documents and have a conversation with the whistleblower, we have to trust the game at least a little bit, right? Yeah, I mean, she might try and assassinate me right here and now, that's true. Ease, welcome to the weekend, buddy. Not that I'm here yet, but remember to turn teams off. Now, the chances of I mean, okay, sure. Let's say Lucien is the spy. Let's go down that path for a second. Fine, somebody else will be our VP. Like, you know, what if everybody's a spy? Like, we can't go down that path because literally everybody could be a spy at that point. Everybody has tried to, like, you know, rub shoulders with me, or my wife could be a spy. And I'm not even like that. You know, 100%, my wife could be a spy. My wife's best friend that tried to get a job through nepotism, or was upset about losing her job through nepotism, she could be a spy. Anybody could be a spy. But we got to work with the information we have, and that we're more sort of certain on than sort of pulling kind of ideas out of, like, pulling potential out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Yeah, Ease, I did. I did. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm hoping to watch Mortal Kombat tonight, ideally, but this weekend for sure. I cannot wait. Never trust anyone is true. Never trust anyone is true. What if the game is the spy? Okay, let's be polite, so that she doesn't stab me. Please sit down. A barely perceptible flash of fear crossed her face. She sat. Yo, for real though. Please sit down is a terrifying statement. Why did you call me in here, sir? I nodded toward my office doorway. Carl Greaser was standing there along with 2 of his guards, blocking the entrance. Lana Vance, you're under arrest on suspicion of treason. Please come with me. Her eyes darted around the room. Are you looking for an escape route? See, I did not expect this turn of events. I was expecting a conversation. What the hell is going on? Mr. President, have you let loose and get to your head? I thought you were smarter than that. So there is a conversation. You're going to pay for your lies, Ilana. You're going to pay for the way you used Peter. Oh, that's a little heartfelt. I'm sorry it had to come to this. If you thought I wouldn't trust my closest advisor, you're the stupid one. Just calling names. I kind of like number 2. Yeah, Ease, we went for a full 8 hours and 5 minutes yesterday. It was wild. It was good times. Good times. Joshua played. Hell yeah, man. That's all I need. Your wife is more progressive than you. She knows you're the spy. In politics, if there are no spies, they are sharks. No one is innocent. All right, fair. Thomas, how's it going, buddy? Seeing some calls for 2. I'm thinking 2. Again, we might need to let go of Peter, but at the end of the day, it's really unfair. It's so difficult because, like, look, man, ultimately it's Peter's fault. She didn't. Like, okay, listen, like, she's just let's say she was a seductress, right? And she seduced him. It takes 2 to tango, right? She tried to seduce him. He let himself get seduced. Like, it's a you know, there's 2 parties here. It's not like she mind controlled him. However, I can still stand by the statement that she used him because he was clearly emotionally invested. Whether he should or shouldn't have been, like, all that stuff's irrelevant. He was clearly emotionally invested, and he manipulated him, or she manipulated him. Which is the way she used Peter, I suppose. Yeah. 3 is a no-blame response. Yeah, true. Matt says, yes, but she's the one that has malicious intent towards your country. Yes, but that would be option 1. You're going to pay for your lies. That's all I'm saying there, Matt. Four, if you thought I wouldn't try... Nah, I don't want to call her stupid. That just doesn't seem... I don't know if that'll help anybody, you know? Those curls hide a sinister motive indeed. If he's your best friend, go with 2. And that's the struggle I'm having right now. He was my best friend, but he really did, like, man. Dude screwed me. Right? Like, this was big. Is he still my best friend? Was that a one-way street? Like, as was said earlier, you know, friendship is a two-way street. Evidently it's been one way for a while. And yeah, she's clearly not stupid. Good point as well. She managed to, well, she did exactly what she needed to do, right? Yeah, exactly. Like he I don't know, he wasn't very nice to me. I'm sorry it had to come to this. God damn it, this game, man. Sometimes the decision making. All right, I think I'm gonna go with 3. You know what? Oh, I'm having a tough time here, folks. The thing is, I don't want her to like use that against me either in court, like if she has a trial. Yeah, ease for sure. It's just because like the game doesn't, YouTube doesn't like statements like kill her, or kill him, or you know, whatever it might be. Like, yeah, or political statements. I'm sorry I had to come to this. I think I'm gonna go with that. Or I could try and throw her off, see if she has a reaction to me calling her Ilana. I wish I could mix and match, honestly. I wish I could type out my own response over here. She's already been called Ilana. Alright. Stone69, this is a political simulator where you play as the president of a failing nation. There is an economic depression happening, there is a refugee crisis, there is political crises, there is all kinds of stuff going on, and you become the president and you have to try and make things work. But it's a text-based political simulator / RPG, and it's a fantastic one. I thoroughly love this game. Basically the House of Cards video game. Yeah, kinda, yeah. Fine, I guess I should back up. You know what? Just because he screwed me over doesn't mean I have to do the same, right? I do still like the guy. You're gonna pay for the way you use Peter. I don't know how I feel about that decision, but I feel like that would be the emotional response from Anton, and he's been an emotional guy before when it comes to his family, both biological and chosen. Carlsman grabbed her arms and began dragging her out. Wow, okay. No! No, you can't do this to me! Peter, hearing her cries, rushed out of his office. Liv? What in the hell? Anton, what's going on? I'm not gonna give her a chance to speak. She's just gonna stick to her lies. She was using you all along as an option, or her name's Ilana. Lucien was right about her. She's a spy. You know what? Like, just tell him everything. It's so difficult. Like, he might say something about, well, of course, Lucien's just coming up with the evidence or something like that. He's an idiot, Peter. I'm not going to give Livia a chance to speak. And telling somebody that they're being used by the woman they love is not typically going to get you the results that you want. No, she's just using you, man. It's like, you're not going to get the response that you want. Peter could be the spy? Nah, I've known him since high school. I mean, he could be. He could have been turned, but I don't think it actually is him. Sorry, Ollie B, I don't follow. What Rykor is a brand? Chicory is a plant? I don't follow. Bewitched Phantom suggests that I break her knees. Oh my god. Yeah, I think I should give it to him straight, exactly. Words right out of my mouth. Don't just yell shit in the hallways. That's also a good point. It's like... I feel like this is where this interaction is going to happen. Because I hear what you're saying, Wickles, absolutely. My first reaction was like, should we really be talking about this over here? But, like, what hallway are we in? Who else can hear me? Can the opposition party, or not the opposition party, but can the people who don't like me in our party hear me? I could say nothing, and hopefully, I don't know if the game will let me have a conversation with Peter later. I could try saying nothing. No, you raise a very good point, Wickles. You raise a very good point. Lay down the evidence, but this is a statement, right? It's not necessarily evidence. I wonder if saying nothing, if I could speak to him later and lay down the evidence. What do y'all think, chat? What do y'all think? I'm torn here, because again, it's a good point. Should we be saying this in the hallway where who knows who can hear us? That might be political suicide right there. 2, I think is just going to make Peter upset. 3, I mean, I'd be a fool to let Livia speak right now. If I say nothing, who knows what'll happen. Welcome back, Nisarg. Welcome back. I see a couple of 1s. I see a 2. I see a the walls have ears, 2. Yeah. Oh my god, classified. Peter laid down the evidence. That's what I'm thinking. Say nothing will probably not let us talk later. That's my concern. I feel that's the end of the line. But I do see a couple of calls for saying nothing. I feel that's dangerous. Just let her lie. The worst that will happen is she'll lie. Also a good point. Man, y'all raised some good points. God damn. Story of my life, this one. Again, this is, we often joke about how, like, I make political decisions in a relative snap, whereas personal and decisions take so much longer, and this is like the perfect blend of the two, and it's just completely throwing me for a loop. Lots of 3s, couple 4s. Sure, we could try. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of 4s actually. I'm surprised at how many 4s I'm seeing. Jesus. All right, you know what? I'm gonna take a chance with the game. What's life without risks, as I always say, right? We'll say nothing. Hopefully, I can speak to Peter later. Well, he asked me a question. That's rude. He asked me a question. I should respond to him. Spamming the same number multiple times, please don't. Joshua, you only gotta put it up once. It throws me off when folks spam the same number multiple times, because I look at chat quickly to get a quick read, and when you do that, it stops me from being able to get a quick read. So please don't do that. All right, you know, let's go with fine. Let's see. I almost said the ears have walls. The walls have ears, as was said earlier, but I guess let them hear. Let's try it. Oh god, this is a tough one. Her name's Ilana. Lucian was right about her. She's a spy. No, that can't be true. Can it? Liv? I won't say another word without a lawyer present. She looked Peter square in the eye. Except this. You're a sad old drunk and a lousy lay. Honestly, if I were a Roomberg spy, I'd barely have to do a thing. You two have Sordland ripe for the taking. She straightened up, ran a hand through her curls, and allowed Carl to lead her away. Yo. Oh my. Hot damn. Not the direction I expected that to go. Classified. Oh no, she didn't. Yeah, she did. Yeah, she did. Oh my god, this poor guy. Man, honestly, listen, yeah, Peter was stupid. Peter was an idiot. But dude's like falling apart right now. Literally, his marriage is in shambles, right? The woman he loves is not only out of the question, but also clearly never loved him. And his self-esteem has just been absolutely just, oh my god. I mean, Jesus. I actually feel bad. I feel bad for the guy, man. I feel bad for the guy. You could hear his heart break. Yeah, honestly. Now Peter might kill himself. He might, but there's nothing we could stop. Like, there's only so much we can do to try and stop him from doing that, like I was saying earlier, right? Wow, though. Oh my god. Jesus. Ran a hand through her curls. Peter sank to the floor in front of me. Anton, what the hell just happened? I'll tell you in my office. Feel free to take a moment first. Listen, man, we're not the bad guy here, right? This dude's falling apart. He was still our best friend. Let's not forget. I'll tell you in my office. Feel free to take a moment first. Once Peter was in my office, I shut the door and explained everything Lucian had told me about Livia. And you believed him? Well, better safe than sorry, especially after what she called me. At least we finally have this ordeal behind us. Let's get on with running the country, shall we? Peter, man, don't. Don't be so naive. Don't be so naive. I don't think Anton disclosed to the spy where he thought she was from. I think last session... Oh, you know, you might be right. I thought last session we'd mentioned it, but you might be right. Oh, damn. If we hadn't told her where we suspected she was from, then she definitely just gave herself out there. Gordon, how's it going, buddy? This man is a liability 100%. Yeah, yes, Saketh, Peter's gonna be fired. He can still be our friend, but not our VP, yeah. He should understand. If he is truly our best friend, he'd understand. If he was truly our best friend, he would understand that this has to happen. The drink option is interesting, but I feel like it'll be... See, the last thing I want is for him to be blindsided. If I don't talk to him first, if I don't tell him, hey man, listen, we're gonna have to do something about this, and he finds out from Lucian, who he already has a bone to pick with, he's gonna be like, wow, my best friend couldn't warn me that this was coming. You know what I mean? She has been arrested. Yes, Jazzy B. Welcome back, man. We're not trying to kill him, no. What happened, Joshua Blade? Where did you... okay, so we told Peter everything. We went with option 1. We told Peter that, like, she's a spy. Her name is Ilana. Peter was like, oh, is that true? This can't be true. And then Ilana was like, I'm not going to say anything without my lawyer present, but I will say this. You're an old drunk and a lousy lay. And if I were a Roomberg spy, I would hardly have to do anything. You two have basically made Sordland ripe for the picking. That's like, kind of like paraphrasing there. Yeah, give it to him straight. Actually, I have to tell you something. Yeah? Well, what is it? You look like shit. Why'd you take the rest of the day off? I want you to resign. It's coming from a warm place. Peter looked up at me. His expression was numb. I guess I deserve this, don't I? I'm gonna be honest with him. I just wish it didn't say yes. This is phrased so aggressively. Philandering. Yes. It's like, no, I want to say, like, your actions have put us all in danger. You know what I mean? Undeaf, was I word for word? Okay, I wasn't sure how accurate I was. Oh dear. I do feel sorry for this guy. Man, I feel my heart sinks every time he like says something. The writing in this game is so good. His expression was numb. I was just like, damn, man. You're making me sad. Yeah, asking him to take the fall is just like, wow. And plus, like I was saying earlier, he's not our scapegoat. It is his fault. So I gotta go with 1. Yes, your philandering put all of us in danger. Wish the word choice was different. He exhaled slowly. I could see tears in his eyes. Man, dude's lost everything. I'm so sorry, Anton. I was never cut out for this job. You did great. Sordland's just not ready for a vice president like you yet. That damn party animal. It was fun while it lasted. 2 is rude, man. Is 2 rude or is it funny? You know? Am I trying to be like, hey, at least you got a nice house out of the deal, right? Haha. Or is it like, and let's not forget that house that you got in a sketchy manner as well. You know what I mean? I don't think we'll go with 2. 2 is you really weren't. I don't think there's a sense of humor here. I don't think this is trying to be funny. I think this is a serious like insult. I think we could say it was fun while it lasted because Sordland's never going to be ready for a vice president like him, and he never did great. He never did great. Dude was trash from start to finish. It was fun while it lasted. Right, bud? Sure was, old buddy. I'd love to offer him to stay for a drink, but the dude is a drunkard. And we have to prepare for a press conference, yes. Yeah, I don't think so, Natalie. I don't think 2 was trying to be funny. I think it was the disappointed comment. I think 2 was disappointed. I think 3 was the funny option. But yeah, a drink isn't a good idea. If he shows up at this thing drunk, not only will he potentially look and smell drunk, but I know it's just 1 drink, but who knows what he'll do afterwards, right? He might have the 1 drink and then go into his office and be like, yeah, let's have some more. Hey, I don't know. It could go either way. But I've got to prepare for the press conference. I suggest you do the same. He might still drink alone. Yeah, it's a tough one. It could go either way. All right, I get the message. But first, he grabbed the bottle of elderly maroon 30-year-old from the shelf behind my desk. To new beginnings. I can't deny him. I can't. You idiot. You absolute idiot. He drained a third of the bottle in one long swig, then got to his feet and unsteadily made his way to the door. I should have had a drink with him. You goddamn idiot. I cannot. I expected many things. I did not expect that. Oh my god, I did not expect that. Oh, hot damn, Ease, that's great news, dude. Awesome. Video interview next week with a company in Sweden. That's dope. Congratulations, man. I hope it goes well. And dude, I'm happy to help, obviously, anytime. That's awesome. Congratulations. I hope it goes well. Next week. Do you know when next week? I knew this was for the best, but I hope my friend would be all right. Man, wow. It's like I honestly, it's like one of those things where it's just like, I kind of want to stop right now. I don't want to know where the game goes next with this. You know what I mean? Not actually. I'm not going to do that. That would be ridiculous. But like, you know when you know how something, when you have a feeling for how something might end, and you just go like, I don't want it to happen. Our nation's security has been breached. Unfortunately, we still don't know what information has been leaked to foreign powers. Ooh, I wonder, could we actually prevent this from happening? Interesting. Interesting. Technically, he's on vacation. Who, Peter? At least if he was drunk, he'd do a nice scapegoat. How do you mean, Undeaf? Love that I got here in time for Party's Pain, says Jazzy Beat. Yeah, honestly, the timing was excellent. Oh, what's the deal here? Decided to put the blame on Peter Vector as a response to the affair. Put the blame on. It is his fault. He's the one who had the affair, not me. I decided to have Livia Suno tried as a response to the affair. As a result of the investigation into the affair, Lucien told me Livia Suno is actually a Rumburgian spy named Ilana Vance. By the way, I think Nissar mentioned that last session it did come up that she was from Rumburg, so she does know that we know that she's from Rumburg. Time for the press conference. Press release for the affair scandal. What a turn of events. This game is full of surprises. Honestly, last year I was already talking about how great it is because of what I'd already experienced, and now that I've played even more of it, it's just like I recommend this game to everybody who likes a good bit of storytelling. For real. Spindle, how's it going, buddy? Glad you can make it. Glad you can make it. Spindle and Ease are both in sort of similar scenarios with regards to moving countries and grabbing, setting new paths ahead. It's kind of wild. It's funny. Funny to see the. It's like a small world. Funny to see how similar things can be sometimes. Gordon Fenton played this through twice, and the almost endless possibilities are mind-boggling. Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm sure there are events that we haven't even seen or triggered. In fact, I believe someone mentioned. We saw a lot of things happen because our highway project took a very long time, and someone mentioned, I think it was Jazzy B, mentioned that, or implied, I shouldn't say mentioned, but implied that that highway project could have been finished a lot earlier. And you have to think, like, okay, well, how much earlier? What does that change? How many conversations does that change? It's fantastic, this game. It was the morning of Livia's trial, and hordes of reporters were gathered in front of the state courthouse. Peter, Lucien, and I stood by the entrance. Lucien had helped break the news of my secretary's arrest. Now the media was beginning to question exactly how a Rumburg double agent had been able to infiltrate the Maroon Palace. It was time for me to deliver an explanation. Oh, just do it for me, game. Just do it for me. A podium with a bank of microphones awaited us on the courthouse steps. Peter looked uncertain. I had told him I would be doing all the talking today. I didn't realize it sounded like it was immediate, like later that day. I didn't realize it was going to be a few days later. I would have offered him that drink. Now I feel bad. That's the one thing I wish maybe it's just me. Maybe I should just know this better. You know, maybe I should just be smarter about it. I just assumed that we would rush the press conference in case somebody sees her being dragged out of the building, and you know, all it takes is one person to leave a tip with a reporter, and all the next thing you know, it's in the news before you're able to give a press conference. So I thought it was going to happen the same day. I would have had a drink with Peter. Probably would have made him feel a lot better. Man. Give it to people straight, or they'll rip you down. Yeah, no, I gotta be honest, but still, you know, diplomatic, I guess. Remember what we talked about, Mr. President? How could I forget? I was about to blame my best friend for a scandal that would otherwise shatter my administration. Peter hadn't said a word to me since I broke the news to him in my office. Together we stepped behind the podium. The reporters clustered around us and started shouting questions. Oh, there's a slip of the tongue. Thank you for coming. As you are aware, Ilana Vance, the Bloomberg spy who posed as my secretary, is currently on trial for treason. Or, as you are aware, Livia Suno, former secretary to the president of Sordland, is currently being tried for treason. Let's go with the second option. Let's not... Oh, it's like, which angle do we want to play up? That she was a secretary who's on trial for treason, or that a spy managed to be my secretary? Tough. Elo Tree, we ended up not castrating Peter. We revealed the truth to Peter. We arrested Livia, or Ilana, who is going to be put on trial for treason. We told Peter that he might, or rather that he is being asked to resign by myself. And he, you know, took that about as well as you could imagine. Also, Livia tore him apart, called him a lousy lay and an old drunk on her way out. So that. I think number 2 maybe is the way we go. Yes, Ilana Vance is her real name, yeah. Oh god, let's take a sec to talk about secretaries. If we say she's a secretary, then it suggests it's our fault. The other suggests it's Roomberg that are the problem. True. Political posturing. I'm thinking 2 as well. I'm thinking, like we said literally before we started this, you know, give it to him straight, right? As you are aware, Ilana Vance, the Roomberg spy who posed as my secretary, is currently on trial for treason. This also suggests that we discovered the issue. There's something about the phrasing in 2 that makes us feel more in control. Rest assured, the traitor shall be brought to justice. Rest assured, Roomberg will be made to answer for its latest affront to our great country. Rest assured, a security breach of this magnitude shall never happen again. I think we should focus on the traitor and justice as opposed to the scale of the security breach. I mean, the press isn't stupid, and that's not a promise we can make, right? Yeah, it's exactly it, Jazzaby. We're going to go with this. Rest assured, the traitor shall be brought to justice. However, the fact remains that she should never have been allowed to infiltrate our administration in the first place, or however, the fact remains that she should never have been allowed to access sensitive government information. I think 1 is the way to go. 2... See, she could infiltrate our administration but not have access to sensitive information. So, I'm thinking 1 here. I'm thinking 1 here for sure. He's planned the whole moving to Ireland thing to be for a year or 2, and then you stayed there for how long? Yeah, I think we're gonna go with 1 over here. They don't exactly. The press doesn't know what info she has. And to be fair, we only know one thing. We only know that she asked about our current diplomatic conversations. We don't know anything beyond that. We don't know what kind of quote-unquote sensitive information she has access to. I think the first option might be the way to go. The fact remains that she should never have been allowed to infiltrate our administration in the first place. And you're right, exactly. 2 gives the press information they might not have. That she did can be directly traced to the carelessness of one man, Peter Vectren. She did so by exploiting the weakness of Vice President Peter Vectren. Oh, I prefer 2. This makes her the villain. As opposed to calling Peter careless, we say Peter was, like, which is worse? I think carelessness is worse than weakness, because weakness is, interpretable. Weakness implies he was manipulated. Weakness implies he was, toyed with. She's the bad guy in this conversation. She did so by exploiting the weakness of Peter Vectren. And let he who has never been exploited cast the first stone. You know what I mean? Yeah, weak or incompetence. I'm thinking 2. I mean, both are... I think calling him weak is a better reflection on our party and on us and on him too. Any person can be weak. Any person can be emotional. Any person can be driven to decisions based on, where the blood flows from or where it flows to. Carelessness is people will be hard-pressed to think of themselves as potentially careless. They can more easily see themselves as being weak, whether it be in a romantic sense or something else. People can relate to weak, exactly. She did so by exploiting the weakness of Vice President Peter Vectren. The journalist gasped and murmured. Peter turned to face me, his mouth hanging open. Oh, he didn't like that phrasing. Damn, I'm curious what happens if we say the other thing. Mr. Vectren's willingness to put his own infantile desires over Sordland's security has made him a threat to the state. Oh my god. Mr. Vectren's recklessness, to say nothing of his betrayal of Sordish values has disgraced my administration. Oh, these are harsh words, man. This could be a lot softer. No, he did not like that. No man was ever made of iron or stone. That's a good phrase. But evidently he thought he was, or he was hoping we'd say he was. What, he would rather be called careless? No, I think his reaction would be the same. I don't think he'd be happy either way. One sec, folks, I gotta close the window. Construction's about to get real loud. It's when this massive dump truck comes through and has to dump a bunch of stuff. Massive dump truck. Surprised Peter's not out there. Infantile desires, not the adjective I would have chosen. Childish. No, I get it. It's like, pubescent desires. Calling him a threat to the state means he's... Look, if somebody is a threat to the state, you don't let them resign in peace. You know what I mean? Kicking a downed man. Hey man, he's the one who went down himself. Trying to find the best way to phrase that. No, Fizz George, that's because I closed it before the noise started. It started now, and hopefully you can't hear it. I think we have to call him a disgrace as opposed to a threat. A threat that's a dangerous thing to be. A threat to the state? No. A disgrace to the administration? Fine. Threat to the state? Dangerous. Yeah, Mr. Vectren's recklessness, to say nothing of his betrayal of Sordish values, has disgraced my administration. Oh, God. That was tough. That was tough. Therefore, the Vice President shall be trialed for his shameful actions against the state. If found guilty, he will be imprisoned. Take him. No. Therefore, the Vice President has tendered his resignation, effective immediately. Wow. The clamor of reporters was growing louder. Peter seemed to shrink behind the podium, his charisma failing him at last. That's it then. No going back from this. The reporters were becoming hard to ignore. One woman in the front row looked particularly insistent. Isn't this the same one? Yeah, we've interacted with her before. Mr. Vector! I said I would be doing all the talking, right? That was one of the first things that we'd discussed. Don't think it's here. Peter hadn't said a word to me. Yeah, here. I had told him I would be doing all the talking today. He didn't say anything against that. So I think I should be answering all the questions. Mask is a badass. You missed us revealing to Peter the truth about his bow, as it were. She called him some names as we arrested her. He is being asked to resign as vice president by us, and we're about to give a press conference. Yeah, I think if I told him I'd be doing all the talking, and then I let him answer like, if I said, hey man, I'm going to do all the talking, you know, you can relax, you don't have to worry about anything, and then I throw him to the wolves, that makes me the bad person. If I let him take the question, I feel like that makes me the bad person. It's like when you're taken to a meeting, and you were told, no, you don't have to prepare anything, you'll be fine. And then all of a sudden a question comes up, and your boss turns to you and says like, yeah, how about, can you answer that for us? And you're just like, well, I'm not ready for what? You know what I mean? Oh, yes. Sorry, Joshua, but I missed your question earlier. Yeah, Natalie's got the answer for you there. Thank you, Natalie. He could potentially be drunk and upset. Yeah, I'll be answering all questions on the Vice President's behalf. On the former Vice President's behalf. I thought we said it was effective immediately. President Rain, were you implying that Mr. Vector and the covert agent posing as your secretary were engaged in intimate relations? Yes, and it wasn't the only such affair. Ooh. My options are yes or yes, but wait, there's more. I'm just going to say yes. Were you aware of this when it was happening? Technically, I was. Gesture to Lucien to end the press conference is maybe not a bad idea, actually. Maybe not a bad idea. Because we don't know how far this can go. She's looking for a scandal, exactly. We have to end it. No, me not knowing what was happening? I can see the headlines right now. President unaware of Vice President's scandalous affair with foreign spy. President can barely keep his house clean. Yeah, this is not. We can't. No, we're gonna end this press conference. They're just looking for some juice. Lucien is always a good choice, says Jazzy V. I like that. Lucien, help me out here, buddy. A gesture to Lucien to end the press conference. Lucien interjected. Neither the president nor the vice president will be taking any more questions. Thank you. Oh, why you gotta do me like that, game? Character title updated. The reporters reluctantly dispersed. Lucien, Peter, and I looked at each other for what seemed like an eternity. Finally, Peter lowered his eyes. I guess I'll go to the palace and start packing my things then. I'll come with you. Peter shook his head. I watched him descend the courthouse steps to his car. Alone. A shame about your friend, Mr. President. But it appears you will make it out of this unscathed. Of course, there's now the matter of replacing both your secretary and your vice president. You're a little too old to be my secretary, Lucien. Lucien is a homie, truly. Too soon. It's not too soon. I need a VP like right away. I do have a few candidates in mind. We were literally talking about this earlier today. What are the chances? I was just like pontificating, you know, and here we are. It's actually happening. I kind of want to go with. I kind of want to go with 3. He'd look cute in a skirt though. God, that was good stuff. I just want to say, folks, we've got over 70 people watching right now, but only 35 likes. First of all, it's awesome to see so many of you joining in. Typically, as a series goes on for longer and longer, the interest starts to wane. That's just natural for playthroughs, but it's cool to see episode 18. We got over 70 people watching, so thank you all for joining in. I just want to mention, though, if you have been enjoying, if you would like to see more of this game and more like it on the channel, don't hesitate to leave a like, whether you're watching live or you're watching the VOD. It really does help me make decisions for the channel. But it is cool to see so many of y'all coming through and hanging out. Glad to see that, again, 18 episodes in, we are still going strong. Lucian can look good in anything. He's a darling. No, we do have to get back to work, honestly. And yes, Ease and Jazzy B both dropping that Discord link if you are new around these parts, or you've been around but you've not joined our Discord yet. Don't hesitate to join in. Fantastic place to hang out. Great place to chill. Link in the chat and in the description down below. I need a drink of water. I should have loaded this bottle up with some actual whiskey today or something. All right, I think we got to go with 2. You can't run an administration without a vice president and a secretary. What am I gonna do? Figure out my own schedules? Pfft, come on. I have a few candidates in mind. Oh yeah, I kind of want to go with 3. Damn it. That's my bad. I did kind of want to go with 3 there. Paul Peterson, how's it going, buddy? Hashtag commenting that I like the thing. Glad to hear it. I'm glad to have you here, man. Nisarg, it's not okay. So no, it's not that I haven't made a playlist. I forgot to respond to that comment. Actually, it's not that I haven't made a playlist. It's that YouTube's playlist system, they broke it. They intentionally made a change that broke how it works, like a month ago now, 2 months ago, and I keep forgetting that I don't have it set up the way it used to work, and I have to go through and fix that. Go through and fix that. So my bad, but you are right. Yes, I need to fix that. But that's why. So you have some insight. I have a few candidates in mind. Very good, sir. We walk back up the stairs to the courthouse to watch the rest of the trial. And as that trial goes on, Ren K1124 coming through with a super chat for the budget. Thank you very much, buddy. The budget definitely needs it, and I appreciate the super chat. Really helps support the channel, really helps support these streams, as I'm sure you very well know by now, as I say over and over, because it does make a big difference. I appreciate it greatly. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Bob Peterson doing better, working on the project, has helped me center myself. Also, Miss Party is going to love the sword. Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see it. It's so dope. It's so cool. Thanks for sharing, and it's just I'm excited to see it for sure. Jazzy B. David whiskey is the best whiskey. True. Does Sordland politics count as politics on the Discord? No, you can talk about Sordland, but don't talk about real world modern day politics. That's all. Don't look at like real world equivalents and comparisons. Like within reason. We try to be reasonable about the rules, right? But yeah, you can talk about Swordish politics. If you have spoilers, though, please put them in spoiler tags. Please put them in spoiler tags. Vanna28 asking for the rewind. Wait, what are we trying to undo? This entire today, just all of today. What's up with the budget at -4? We've been like this all the way through. We've invested in healthcare, education, some infrastructure projects. We're fine. The economy is recovering, though. Gotta look at the good sides with the bad, right? I thought they said they updated this. There it is. Wow. Just had to refresh this. And it looks like we got a couple subscribers joining us. VHS Boys, Sarah Lewis, Architector, I cannot read the latter part of that, and Jonathan Bryan. Thank you all for subscribing. Hope you're enjoying the show. And again, if you're not already in our Discord, don't hesitate to join on in. Yeah, if you there is a spoiler feature. I forget what it's called. The slash that stands upright. It's like 2 of those on either side of your comment makes it a spoiler. And if you mark an image as not safe for work, it also blurs it, so it is like spoiler protection basically. And there's that Discord link from the Witch Phantom in the chat as well. Yeah, so former Vice President of Sordland. In 1956, he was involved in a huge scandal that led to his dismissal as vice president. According to reports, Vectren had an intimate relationship with a foreign spy who had infiltrated the administration and was blamed for leaking classified information. He was dismissed from his post by Anton Rain shortly after the scandal broke. And there was another update as well, right? There was others. Livia Suno. They've just changed it here. Ilana Vance, I guess we know that she's a spy for sure then. Was a Rumburgian spy who briefly served as the private secretary of President Anton Rain under the alias Livia Suno. Briefly? That was basically our entire term, dude. During her service in Sordland, she was tasked with directly handling most of the critical calls, scheduling, and paperwork for the president. She had previously worked at the Swordish Airlines headquarters as the secretary of the director before starting her work for the United Sordland Party National Committee in 1953, where she was assigned to assist Peter Vectren, who was organizing support for presidential nominee Anton Rain. He's being held in Antel Rock Prison. Wild. I guess that's a bit of a confirmation then. This is set in the mid-50s. Yeah, exactly. Mid-50s. There it is, Natalie P. with the, that's how you do the spoiler tag, exactly. Article continues, Anton felt like shit. Yeah, it would be accurate. The Hallsword Post has this to say. Rumburg infiltrated Maroon Palace. President's secretary arrested. Breaking news from the Maroon Palace. Presidential Secretary Livia Suno has just been revealed to be a spy from Rumburg. More details are forthcoming, but it appears the agent, whose real name is not yet known, managed to get past the palace staff's stringent background checks and obtain confidential information from within the Rain administration. The president has taken swift, decisive action to remove her from her position and bring her to justice. Wow, they're saying this because we own the media partially. That's why, isn't it? That's why they're being so positive. Otherwise, it would definitely not be like this, I'm sure. Almost sure. The Lackhaven Times. President's secretary arrested for treason. Livia Suno, secretary to President Anton Rain, was arrested yesterday following an investigation that revealed her to be a covert agent from Rumburg. Her trial is scheduled to begin in the next several days. In the meantime, the question of how an enemy spy was able to infiltrate the Maroon Palace on such a high level remains. President Rain has announced he will soon be holding a press conference to address this potentially brewing scandal. The Radical has this to say. Rain pins spy scandal blame on Vectren. Faced with an intelligence leak that could irreparably damage his administration, Anton Rain passed the buck to hapless VP Peter Vectren, who was forced to resign during a press conference on the courthouse steps today. He accused Vectren of hiring presidential secretary and Rumburg spy Livia Suno without a proper background check, and even hinted that the two were carrying on an affair. His dismissal of Vectren may satisfy some, but we are duty-bound to get to the bottom of this scandal. The Radical, always with their opinions. The writing and the lore in the game world, so well done. Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, like, some of the writing, just like describing how upset Peter was well done. Like, it's just well written. Just well written. Oh dear. Selection of a new vice president or briefing on the women's rights situation. Let us pick ourselves a new vice president first. I think that's the most pressing matter, because then they can hopefully help us in this conversation that comes up next, right? The Radical has more spin than a top. Oh, I like that. We got some really good zingers in chat today. The Radical has more spin than a top. That's good stuff. A selection of a new vice president first. Let's do this. We have to do both eventually anyway, but I would like to go into that second conversation with a VP. You know what I mean? Having a VP is a very important thing. Having our administration be complete is very important. It was here. A day I'd been dreading since Peter's resignation. At the entrance to my office, my new secretary Sylvia took my hat and coat. She was a matronly woman in her 40s. She had a spotless background assisting various Maroon Palace officials. Wow, sounds like an easy hire. Replacing Livia had been easy, but replacing my vice president would be difficult. Swordish law dictated that if a vice president failed to complete his term, new candidates were to be put forward by the members of the cabinet. Oh dear. After much deliberation, the list had been narrowed down to 3. Lucien Galade was the frontrunner, followed by Gloria Tori and Albin Claven. Alright, makes my decision easy. I wanted Lucien Galade when we were kind of like briefly discussing this. I wanted Lucien. Lucien's the frontrunner. I do not like Gloria, and Albin... I mean... I have no opinion of him, I guess. Though I don't know if he's the one who betrayed me when it comes to the reforms, right? I love the radical, though it never loves me. True that. Classify, get a lady VP, then talk about women's right. Unfortunately, the only option we have is not one that we can trust to assist us. Remember, Gloria has been a thorn for us all the way through. Gloria's not going to get this post. Neither is Albin. Albin's been fairly useless, in all honesty. Lucien's the front runner. Is this a democracy or what? It was up to me to decide who would fill Peter's shoes. I wanted to chat with them one-on-one before making my decision. I had just begun to settle at my desk when I heard a knock at the door. Lucien entered and perched on the chair across from me. Perched. For some reason, I picture that like what's his name from Star Trek? Is it Riker? I'm not a Trekkie, admittedly, but I believe it's Riker who always like turns the chair around and then sits with his like legs splayed, right? And Lucien is a homie. We've said it all along, right? Lucien, the devilishly good helper. Dude's been great. You gotta go, Omkar? Sounds good, buddy. Thanks for dropping by. Hope you had a good time. And have yourself a wonderful rest of the day. I hope I catch you in the Discord or perhaps on Monday when we're streaming. But thanks for coming through, buddy. Sean says, I'm the kind of pig that would love... Oh, dear Lord. Fair enough, Sean. I mean, hey. Like I said earlier, what folks do in their own spare time is... Sir. Alright, Lucien. You're one hell of a strategist. But why should I make you VP? It is precisely in my capacity as strategist that I have evaluated the experience and capabilities of your potential vice presidents. Objectively, I am by far the most qualified candidate. I would advise you not only to think about our long history together, but also the many crises I have helped shepherd you through. He's touching on all the points that I was saying. He's a homie. He's been by my side. I won't say much beyond that. I believe my work speaks for itself. Oh. The public might gossip about your lack of a wife. This is the 50s. You wanted Peter's job from day one. How do I know you won't try to have me ousted next? No. If we're going to make him our VP, we can't think of him as a villain. You're such a valuable strategist. I don't know if I can afford to lose you in that capacity. Lucien is this guy, our chief strategist. As vice president, my ability to serve you and this administration will only increase. I knew the answer to that statement, but that was the only option that made sense. Ibrahim, you could stop spamming, please. Last and only warning. Unless there's a... Alright. I'm going to give it like 10 seconds. DHD is going to be the last message I allow of spam, and the next one will be a timeout. Cool. It could have been a cat walking across the keyboard, right? Like, I give people the benefit of the doubt. And if they keep going, then either I or one of the mods steps in and times them out. I've got little patience for that kind of stuff. No, we're all good. It's all good. It stopped. Right. Again, like I was saying, knew the answer to this. I'm too patient. I'm definitely too patient, Jazzy B, sometimes. But we good. Moving on. Lucien got up from his chair. I expect you will make the right decision. He left my office, and just a minute later, there was another knock at the door, and Gloria Tori came in. Mr. President? I must say I was not surprised at all when my name was put forward. Ugh. So, Gloria, tell me. Why should I pick you? I'm not going to ask her why she wasn't surprised. She's going to say something like, oh, because I'm obviously the best choice, or whatever the hell. Yeah, boo, hiss, exactly, Jazzy B, that's how I feel. To put it simply, what I bring to the table is years of experience. I've been a member of the Assembly for almost 20 years, and I spent 7 years as its Speaker. This alone speaks for itself. As you know, I'm also the leader of the conservative wing of the party. You can see what I'm getting at. Yeah, I don't like you. You become the Vice President, and I get votes from the Conservatives. Tell me, plain and simple, what are you getting at? Because, no, that's not the case at all. See, here's the thing. Now, actually, she's made this crystal clear to me. I wasn't realizing it earlier. If she spends the rest of my term as VP, then when it comes time for the primaries, she can then say, I was VP post-scandal and helped get the administration through. No, she's making a power play here. Very, very, very clever. Why don't we like her? Partly because she was very difficult with us, to us, at us, when we needed help with the reforms. That's one of the reasons. She was also quite rude, I would say, as the Speaker to us. And also, as I just realized, she's making a power play here. She wants to say that she has experience as a VP so that when the time comes, she can say that she should be the candidate that they put forward for presidential election. She was a major reason the reform failed, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, she's the one who didn't like democracy. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. If she became your VP, she wouldn't be in the Assembly anymore, right? So she would abandon the place she was elected for by the people. Oh. Clever way to put it. No, but yeah, no. What are you getting at? Go on, tell me. What are you getting at? Well, I will be blunt. Being the leader of the conservative wing means that if I'm the vice president, we would have more votes. This would allow us to pass bills far more easily, especially if those bills are aligned to my bloc's causes. There you go, see? She doesn't want to do me favors, she wants me to do her favors. Honestly, Gloria, eat shit and die. There is no us, Gloria. No, I'll think about it. Let her go off thinking, I'm being reasonable, which I am, but you know what I mean. I want you to know that I value order over everything else, Mr. President. Being the Speaker of the Assembly requires principles, nerves like steel, and determination to uphold proper conduct, which you managed to not do when it was necessary. You can expect to see the same of my vice presidency. Wow. You being a woman could also prove advantageous, or I don't think Sordland's ready for a female vice president. Those are my only options. I don't agree with two. I think they'll get over it. But you're just not the right one. You being a woman could also prove advantageous. I don't want to say that. It's such a, I have no options though. Not just any woman. A strong woman who was able to protect order in a room full of unruly men for 7 years. Think about the message it would send. The first woman vice president of Sordland. No, the first woman vice president in the whole continent. What support you would lose among traditionalists, you would gain tenfold among Sordish women. But your bloc are traditionalists, by and large. Not everyone, obviously. There is much to gain from selecting me, Mr. President. I believe you will make the right choice. That'll be all for now. Thank you. Thank you. I wish you a nice day, Mr. President. I stand by what I said earlier. Game is being hard. Oh, it is. Those options did suck, Natalie, absolutely. She has a point, but we could just as easily be like, oh, we have, I mean, our cabinet is full of women. We have the Speaker of the House is a woman. We're probably the first administration to actually make moves for women's rights in Sordland. I think we have enough going on that side. I don't want to give up the integrity of my administration and all of a sudden start becoming more conservative to appease my VP. She's going to be pushing her agenda. And like I said earlier, her ultimate agenda is going to be, almost without a shadow of a doubt, to be the next president. I need to be able to trust my VP. Sorry, Joshua Blade, what's blurry? Do you mean the screen itself? If so, hit that refresh, because we're all green from here. The options in that case were, let's exploit that she's a woman, or you're a woman, hence you can't be VP. Exactly, yeah. Those two options were... I see what Jazzy's saying as well, though. It's just like, where to go. It's just expressing my, like, character's pre-existing views on like, gender roles and whatnot, I guess. But yes, both of those options were, like, not what I would want to say, I guess. But they do make sense despite that. I wish there was a third, though. Gloria made her way out. A minute later, there was another knock at the door. This time, it was Albin Claven's turn. Him we hate less, but he's also just kind of he's like a nobody, you know? He's also third in line in terms of popularity. Lucian's the obvious choice. Greetings, Mr. President. It's a great honor to have been chosen as a candidate. Really terrific. I will be straightforward. Why should I pick you? As you know, I represent the reformist wing of the party. What Sordland needs today is not only to catch up to our more modern neighbors, but to surpass them. I believe we can do that. No, I am sure. However, this will only be possible if we set aside our differences and unite as one. That is the outlook I wish to bring to the position of Vice President, so that Sordland can excel and soar to new heights. Sordland? Huh? I did not ask about your opinions. What can you provide me with? Wow. Very idealistic. I like it. Nonsense. Sordland thrives on tradition. Striving for modernity will get us nowhere. I did not ask for your opinions, or about your opinions. What can you provide me with? Wait, no. Oh, no. I just realized that's bribe talk. Very well. The fact is, if I am the vice president, reformist members of our party will be more likely to support you in your causes. This will smooth the passage of bills and help move our administration and our country forward in record time. Man, I cacked that up. That was my bad. Just taking a look at chat over here real quick. Fizz George. Was it really? He looks sweet and not cut out for the political game. Yeah, that's kind of what I was kind of getting at earlier. He's a little too soft. That makes sense, I'll say. I want them all to feel good about their interaction with me. I do feel kind of bad about that decision, the previous point I chose. What this country needs is more dynamic, youthful leadership. Look at you, President Rain. You became the youngest member of the Assembly and completely rejuvenated Swordish politics. I want to do the same. We need to be able to take risks to make gains, and that is only possible with a forward-looking perspective. There. I've stated my case. I trust your judgment. Do you? Okay. Thank you. I will consider what you said. Thank you, Mr. President. Albin got up and left. I leaned back in my chair, thinking about the pros and cons of each of my vice presidential candidates. I could almost hear Peter's voice in my head, laughing at the absurdity of my situation. But of course, he wasn't there. Man. Vice President selection. The Vice President position remains vacant after the events of the scandal and has to be filled by a capable person that the administration and party can trust. Several options have been laid out by the cabinet, and we need to make a decision immediately. Yeah, it is the 50s, yeah, important to remember, true. He's too soft, so you squash his dreams. No, I didn't squash his dreams. But, this isn't when they come to fruition. He's young. He's got time still. It's not even a contest, though, for real. I think it's a pretty simple choice here. It's Lucian. He's the front runner. He's most qualified. We've already worked with him. We know we get along. Maybe he'll make a move to take power for me as well. But to go from chief strategist to vice president is not too much of a long shot, I don't think. After the meetings, Lucian looks like the best choice as Laksha. Yeah, I agree. I felt that way going into them. I tried to stay unbiased through the conversation, but one was basically saying, if you decide to become more like my people, then my people will vote for you. Well, isn't that the case regardless of whether you're VP or not? And the other guy was basically like, hey, yeah, together we can do more of what you're already doing. And it's like, well, I can do that with Lucian. And I trust Lucian. I'm close to Lucian. Lucian doesn't lead a wing. He works with me. I think we're going to go with Lucian. Yeah, if we have a choice of choosing our chief strategist, maybe Albin, maybe he's cut out for the job. But I think Lucian will probably help me pick. Yep, pick Lucian. Lucian Galade. The new vice president of Sordland. Man. And now we can go ahead, briefing on the women's rights situation. I didn't want to tackle stuff without having a VP. Lucian is a straight shooter who thinks about what is good for you. Yeah, and never forget. This, like, from basically like day 3 or 4 of us playing this game, he has been a straight shooter. Dude has not played around, and he's always given us the best, like, he's always given us the best, I should remove some of these notes. Let's keep them. He's always given us the best, like shared his opinions, and he's been helpful all the way through. I think it made sense. He's also popular in Lackhaven, which is the PFJP Heartland. Oh, that's a good point as well. I didn't even think about that. Huzzah for our homie indeed. Throw those flags up for Lucian Nisarg. Hell yeah. You don't antagonize homies. True. Peter, man. How could you? I was sitting in my office. I looked at the clock. 2:26 p.m. It was almost time for my appointment with Ciara on women's rights. There was a knock at the door. Ciara entered the room with folders in her hand. The door did not close behind her. Monica entered the room and stood next to Ciara. Ah yes, the First Lady has become more involved lately. Mr. President. Anton, before we start... No, you can't call me Anton, man. No, listen. It's not how this works. I am Mr. President to you in the office. I'm Anton at home, and it's very important. It's very important to separate those boundaries. Yeah, I can totally see reason to pick the other two for sure, Jazzy B, but from our personal approach, I think we're good. Wait and see when Lucian kills you and reveals his long plays. Yeah, I mean, hell, maybe. Is it Ciara or Kiara? I think it's Ciara. Ciara Walda. Basically, Sakath, honey, I'm the president. No, you can't. It's Mr. President at the office. And maybe at home, too. What? Anton, before we start, I just wanted to thank you for agreeing to this meeting. I've been dreaming about this ever since I volunteered with the Swordish League of Women. I can't believe the moment's finally here. I can't say, It's like if your mom or dad was your teacher at school. You know? Ease, no, Mrs. can always call you Anton. I don't know, man. Oh man, Tedna, you missed almost the entire episode? Damn, a lot happened today. We dealt with the scandal from last session, and that went interestingly. That went very interesting. I don't know if you want me to like kind of say what happened, or if you want to watch the VOD instead. Let me know, and then we'll fill you in. All right, anything to make you happy? I think both of you together could finally bring change to Sordland. I hope you thought this through. Real change requires carefully considered plans. I know, that's why I already signed the decree to give women an equal education. 4 is obviously only available because we made that decision. But I think I like 2. Spoil it for you, Ted. So we revealed the scandal. We had Livia arrested. That's the spy. Her real name turns out to be Ilana Vance. Turns out Livia was the name of somebody who did work at the bar that she claimed to, but her corpse was found shortly before we became president. So, our Livia is not Livia, it's Ilana, the spy from Rumburg. She was arrested. As she was being arrested, Peter saw it happen. He was like, what's going on? Livia called him some names, called him a lousy lay, called him an old drunk, broke him a little bit. Then we had to ask him to resign as well. Lucien suggested it, but we positioned it as our request. So his resignation happened, and then we had to pick a new VP, and our new VP is Lucien himself. I think 2 is the way to go. I think both of you together could finally bring change to Sordland. I think that not only uplifts her, but it also uplifts Ciara. Again, I'm going to treat this as a professional relationship at the office, so to speak, right? And I don't want Ciara to feel like she has to appease... I mean, obviously, just from a hierarchy situation, she has to appease the First Lady. Monica is the First Lady. But I feel like... I don't know. I don't want her to feel like we only do things that make the First Lady happy. I want her to feel comfortable in bringing up her own propositions and stuff as well. Yeah, Ted, it is quite the day to miss for sure. I think both of you together can finally bring change to Sordland. This one feels a little too cocky. I know. That's why I already signed the decree to give women an equal education. It just sounds like toot my own horn. I don't know. I don't like it. It sounds smarmy. I hope you thought this through, belittles them. Anything to make you happy. I already expressed my opinion there. So I think both of you together could finally bring change to Sordland. I think 3 sounds like I'm like. Look, she walked in with an armful of folders. They've clearly thought about this seriously. She's a political figure, Ciara. She's the Minister of Education. She knows how this works. Option 3 belittles her existing capabilities. I don't know what Monica's history was in dealing with this kind of stuff, but I don't want to belittle. I don't think it's fair to belittle their past experiences. They're not idiots. I hope. Monica has been dumb a couple times, but not like this. She's been dumb about different things. I think both of you together could finally bring change to Sordland. Paul, we can do that at home, or when we're just speaking to each other. But there is a third party present, right? I hope you're right. Ciara sat down on a chair and laid down the folder she was holding. First off, Mr. President, I wish to thank you for pushing a decree on establishing gender equality in education. See, this gives them a chance to express, to say it, rather than me tooting my own horn, right? We reaffirm my decisions there, and hopefully it makes them feel better about who I am and how I'm leading. Anyway, this is something I've been trying to accomplish since my appointment as minister. The situation in the public schools was disturbing for me. With that said, we still have a long way to go before Sordish women are able to enjoy the same rights and privileges as men, or even as their counterparts in Arcasia and United Contana. We've been lagging behind on this for decades, Anton. And this isn't only a moral issue. I've seen enough revolutions in this world to understand the main driver of any change. Money. She flipped a folder open and started pulling out documents. In United Contana, law dictates that women earn the same wages as men in their respective fields. My research shows that this led to a 15.5% increase in productivity. You could say this had a direct influence on their superpower status. Arcasia passed laws ensuring maternity leave rights, child daycare centers, and tax deductions for working families. In turn, they experienced a 12.6% productivity boost and a flourishing economy. What about pat leave? I know we're not talking about that right now. Both countries also have significantly lower infant mortality rates, a statistic I believe is directly linked to the improved status of women. I just want to explain my statement there about what about pat leave. As someone who looks forward to one day, eventually, being a dad, I'm fortunate that I don't have to worry about something like pat leave because, I don't do a traditional job, but pat leave often gets underplayed, and it sucks because it not doing pat leave upholds those very same gender roles. Mat leave, obviously, there's a very direct correlation between being a mother and having a baby. Duh. But that was just my kind of side comment there. I feel like someone's gonna point out something there, so I just wanted to be clear. Exactly, Jazzy. I didn't toot my horn, so somebody else could. United content is more advanced in the real 2021 world. Hey man, when you're living in a fantasy, make it big, right? Yeah, we have pat leave in Canada as well, but it's not as as Ease said. First and only warning: no real life politics. Exactly. Though, is pat leave politics, or is it social? Anyway, either way. Both countries also have significantly lower infant mortality rates, a statistic I believe is directly linked to the improved status of women. Our administration has thus far failed to pull Sordland out of its economic recession. Hey man, I don't need the reminder, please. She leaned back in her chair. So I'm asking, why not try passing similar laws? At worst, even if they fail to improve the economy, it'll still be a significant step forward for our society. It's only logical, yeah. Monica handed me one of the documents. It had a list of bullet points on it. The two of us talked it over, and these are the measures we believe are most urgently needed. I'll let my eyes wander down the list, both of them, not just one. Yeah, exactly. It's social commentary now. That's what I was thinking, right? Right? Criminalizing domestic violence. Yeah. That's not. So that's not a question. Support for working mothers. Yeah. Equal treatment in the workforce. I mean, there's no conversation to be had here. Yeah, sure. Let's go for it. Let's go one at a time, I guess. Criminalizing domestic violence. I shouldn't have to tell you how crucial this is. It is utterly unbelievable that in this day and age, Swordish men are legally allowed to beat their wives. What families do in their own homes is none of our concern. I agree. It's a travesty. I'm happy we're on the same page. I would imagine of all the points, this one especially, Monica, as my wife. Jesus. As incidences are especially high within Bludish communities, I would also advocate for setting up a special domestic violence task force in collaboration with Bludish women's rights organizations. Alright, makes sense. The VP has been chosen. Yes, Renke, it is Lucian. Monica looked at her strangely. Ooh. Are you sure that's something we ought to focus on? The Bloods are different. They have their own rules. Ooh. Oh, no. This conversation. Oh, damn it. Monica, I'm surprised at you. We can't let women suffer under the patriarchy, no matter their ethnicity. I'm not sure criminalizing domestic violence is a good idea for the Bloods or anyone else. We should lift all Swordish women up, Bloods included. The Bloods have their own ways of settling these issues. No, we should lift up all Swordish women, Bloods included. We can discuss the particulars once the law has passed. It's fine. I'm fine. So arguably, Dragon Faye, she's trying to be not racist. That's the thing, right? She's trying to say, well, they have their own approach. They should be allowed to keep their own thing. But we're passing laws politically, not based on ethnicity, not based on. So she didn't say anything. She has an angle that is entirely justifiable based on where she's coming from. But yeah, that's why when it came up, I was like, oh damn, this conversation, because it's an intricate one. She's not being racist. She's in fact trying to be the exact opposite of it. She's trying to consider them and their kind of way of life. But that's not anyway. It's a very deep conversation. But no, she's not being racist. No. We can discuss the particulars once the law has passed. Support for working mothers is next. Yeah, it's tough. That was just like, oh, okay. Well, how do I talk about this? But yeah, she's basically, you have to separate. There's layers, right? And you got to separate political law from cultural law. Does that make sense? It's hard to separate them, but that's a tough conversation. that's a tough one. It's an interesting one though. But let's make some progress over here though. Support for working mothers. Ciara nodded. Yeah, exactly what Wickles is saying. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Monica has one weak spot after all. Well, she hopefully has one in us, I hope. It's a nuanced conversation for sure. It's got layers, like ogres, like onions, yeah. Alright, support for working mothers. Sierra nodded. It simply isn't fair that women in the workforce are punished for having children. Remember what I told you about Janice, my friend who basically got fired for becoming pregnant? That would never happen to a man. I know what she's saying, but it's funny to think that paid maternity leave in state-subsidized daycare centers should be key to keeping more mothers employed. I don't want to reward women for choosing work over raising their children. Jesus. It's true, having children never hindered my career prospects. It shouldn't hinder a woman either. I'll have to think about this. Monica, you always said you never regretted giving up a career to raise Frank and Deanna. Yeah, in like the 40s and the... 40s it would be. Maybe 30s. Also, that's what she said. Who knows how she actually felt, man. Come on, read the room. It's true, having children never hindered my career prospects. It shouldn't hinder a woman either. Janice? Oh yeah, that's Janice. Yeah, no, I remember Janice. I remember Janice. Exactly. Moving on. Equal treatment in the workforce. That's an easy one. Right now, Sordland has one of the continent's largest pay gaps between men and women. We need legislation ensuring that a woman doing the same job as a man is paid the same wage. We would also introduce quotas to get more women into positions of power, in the assembly, for instance, or on the boards of corporations. Eventually, narrowing the pay gap is a far more pressing issue, as it would bring financial independence to countless lower-income women. Also important, I don't know if they'll mention this, but it's also lower-income families in general, as a whole, as a unit, outside of just singles, family units as well would benefit from this. Sierra, we never talked about this, but I always thought that with more women in power, higher status for all women would naturally follow. Women are starving because they don't make a living wage. That's a damn sight more important than your friend Janice being passed over for a promotion. Oh man, there is internal strife over here. Hot damn. Ho 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 ho, okay. Oh, interesting, interesting, interesting. So either I don't see a problem with quotas, but tackling the pay gap is much more urgent. Quotas seem far easier to implement than equal pay laws, we should start there, or quotas are a terrible idea, people should be hired on merit, not simply because of their sex. This conversation, man. So I always justify my choices. I've always done this. It's nothing unique. It's just that this conversation has some of these justifications are tougher. So I don't see a problem with quotas, but tackling the pay gap is much more urgent is maybe what I'm going to go with. Maybe what I'm going to go with. 2, quotas seem far easier to implement. We should start there. I think equal pay laws are more important. I think maybe I'm mistaken, but I think that's the way to go. Quotas are not a terrible idea. Is why I won't go with number 3. See, the thing is, you have to consider who's doing the hiring, and this is very important, and I hear this from both sides of the argument all the time. Work with me here, folks, please. This is a tough one to tackle. If you have a field that is dominated entirely by a people, doesn't matter which people, by a people who have inherent bias, they might not have it intentionally, but they might have it internally, right? And it comes to all of us. We all have our biases. Let's not lie about it, right? We all have our biases. And that room full of people have the same bias, and people come in to be hired. Without realizing it, they might be applying that bias when accepting somebody as a new hire. Often, the term used is culture fit. I have seen it in my own workplaces, all right? Just giving you a real-life anecdote. A culture fit is used as a great excuse to control who gets in and who doesn't. Hiring on merit sounds great on paper, but you can only start hiring on merit when the people who are doing the hiring don't have collectively that inherent bias. Because if you have that inherent bias, and without realizing it, you're assigning points to people who might not deserve it. And again, it's not necessarily intentional, it's not necessarily malicious, but it can happen. It does happen. I'm not saying everybody does it, but it does happen. That's why you have quotas, to equalize who's doing the hiring. And then eventually you get rid of quotas, because now that you have a mixed batch of people, and I'm not specifying sex here, it's across multiple topics. When you equalize who's doing the hiring, then you can start letting it be purely on merit. This is a tough conversation. This is a tough conversation, but it is, I always justify my decision, and it would be unfair for me to not do it here just to avoid this conversation. Also, quotas cost nothing. But yeah, I'm being completely real here. I have seen this in my workplaces, and it was gross when I saw it happen. I've seen qualified people not get hired because of those biases. Have anonymous interviews? That would be great. There have been studies done that people's names often affect their chance of getting hired. Hiring should be, I mean, I don't disagree that hiring should be done on merit, but say that as a blanket statement is a difficult, it's just like there are contexts, right? If you have a room full of a certain type of person, they're going to love working with that same type of person down the line, as opposed to someone who might shake it up, as opposed to someone who might change things, as opposed to someone who might force them to think differently, right? There's no answer to that question, Classified. I see the issues on both sides. It's a very nuanced conversation, one that I can't have, in 30 seconds. It's like, yeah, where do you draw the line? I'm not saying that people who are not good at their job should get the job. Having two surnames, I can agree with having issues with one over the other. Yeah, no, there have been studies about names causing issues with getting hired and whatnot. Anyway, it's a tough conversation. I appreciate both sides of it, though. I want to be clear. I agree people should be hired based on their capabilities, but I also understand the other side of the argument, which is like we have a lot of internalized biases. And Ease, you have a good point. Yeah, mask out all the little details when you're having anonymous interviews and stuff. I totally agree. But that's just not how it works, unfortunately, especially in the 50s when you can't do it over Skype. Quotas are the first step to meritocracy. Right, yeah. Which are we going to say? I don't see problems with quotas, but tackling the pay gap is much more urgent. Yeah, let's go with that. I'm going to stick with that one. Oh no, I know, Classified, I know. It's a very nuanced conversation, one we don't have time for right now. And also, again, I didn't want to not talk about it. I didn't want to be like, well, I always justify my choices, except I won't this time, because I feel like that would be unfair to all of us, right? To you guys and to me. Monica gritted her teeth. Deal with it. Call me Mr. President also, please, while at work. Thank you, Mr. President. That covers all subjects. What are your thoughts so far? Thomas, you headed out? Sounds good, buddy. Have yourself a wonderful rest of the day. Thanks for coming through. And do enjoy your weekend if I don't catch you before it's over. You made a good case for all these changes. I'm not sure I can risk passing laws like these so close to the election. Listen, we're not going to win re-election. We're not going to win re-election. Let's be real. It feels too much like you're comparing Sordland to other nations. We must choose our own path. Come on, let's be real here. You've made a good case for all these changes. Thank you. If we can pull this off before the elections, the Reign administration will make history. Let's talk about how to proceed. I want to establish a commission for women's rights in Sordland, with me as its head. Our goal shall be passing and implementing a set of laws to solve the problems we just discussed. As the commission's spokeswoman, my responsibility will be to make speeches and organize fundraisers. I'll be the face of this movement, while Sierra handles the groundwork. Okay. I was wondering if this would cause back and forth. Yeah, I was worried there'd be an issue here. They clearly have some disagreements. If I can show that the First Lady is behind this movement, many women will feel encouraged. Sierra gestured down at her outfit, especially those who aren't keen on pantsuits. I can smack about Monica and how she dresses. The organization's name will be the Commission on the Status of Women. I understand, and I get why they need a commission. I don't see what the issue is there. But it is going to be hard getting your laws past the Assembly. I know, but even a watered-down version would be better than nothing. One more thing to consider before making your decision. This could help silence any of the public's lingering questions regarding your former vice president and the Livia Suno affair. I'm curious what their angle is there. Van28, thank you very much for joining in as our latest member. A warm welcome. Please drop those flags, drop those banners. Thank you very much. Again, as I say always, that kind of support really helps the channel out. keeps us alive and running smoothly. So thank you very much. You have the chance to be a hero. Think about Deanna and her future. Talking about heroes and members and patrons. I hope you will make the right decision. They rose from their seats expectantly. I took a few minutes to think. Sorry, but the answer is no. You can try and run your laws by the Assembly, but they'll get no support from me. No. Literally just flip my character right at the end over here. No, I will approve the creation of the Commission and support your bill in the Assembly. Maybe it'll get us reelected. Monica turned to her. That's all the excitement you can muster? You did it. We did it. Monica hugged Ciara. She smiled uncomfortably. It's not over yet, Monica. The true battle is in the Assembly. We will celebrate once it is done. I'll start gathering names for the Commission tonight. Yeah, like Ciara has a political background. She knows how this plays. I'm happy to see Monica excited, and it's great that she has a cause to like get behind and stuff. But Ciara's got the right of it here. Like, it's not over yet. There's nothing to celebrate yet, unfortunately. I was the easy one to win over here. Just look at the laws I've been passing and stuff, right? Ciara started collecting her documents. She and Monica headed towards the door. Monica paused before leaving. I love you, Anton. I'll see you at home. I don't say it back? What the hell? I could hear Monica and Ciara talking excitedly to each other as the door closed behind them. I looked out my window over the city of Hallsword. It was a clear day outside. That's gotta be promising, right? That's gotta be promising. Love the channel and the community, says Ivan28. The least I can go to support you going. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it greatly. And I'm glad you're having a good time. Glad you're enjoying it. This will give us the women's votes. I mean, who knows, right? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. But one can hope it'll give us more votes, and hopefully it'll win us a re-election. But I'm being real. Probably not. Probably not. Sarah got jokes. She wears pantsuits. I don't know why she had to take a dig at Monica like that. That was definitely a dig. Sorry, we have a notification. I keep clicking the same damn thing. Family, that's Monica. Became the spokesperson for the Commission for Women's Rights in 1957. And Cabinet, Lucien Galade, right, the current Vice President of Sordland, and the Chief Strategist to the President. He's a bit of both right now, fair enough. Next up, we got a conversation about a donation, a private donation from the President, oh dear. And start of the day at the Palace with our new VP. She classified, she was called matronly, if I recall correctly. Althor, how's it going, buddy? Having a good day, I hope. Alright, folks. First day with a new VP is something we'll be tackling next time. We have gone a bit over our time limit today. Things did get a little bit... Things were grim at the beginning, and then things got a little... Things got spicy today. Things got spicier today. Last time things were spicy enough, and then this time we got... Oh, man. I don't know how this is going to play out. War with Runeberg is almost definitely coming, and we're not a step closer to that today, which makes me feel like something is lurking, you know? Something is lurking in the dark for us. It's going to be interesting next time, folks, as we dive back in on Friday. Again, same time as always, 10 a.m. Eastern. 18 episodes behind us, episode 19. The next episode would be Old Enough to Drink in Ontario. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. I still think we should take their kneecaps. Nah, they can keep their kneecaps. It was a spicy episode, wasn't it? Plenty of time left in this game for more spice. I'm sure we'll see it. I'm sure we'll see it. But folks, that is it for today. I hope you had a good time. I hope you have a wonderful Friday ahead of you and a wonderful weekend ahead of you too. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like on your way out. If you're watching the VOD or you're watching live, either way, it makes a big difference. A massive thanks to all of y'all for joining in today. F's in the chat for Peter as well. I think that's fair. Yeah, you know what? Poor guy went out in a blaze of glory. Well, calling it glory is maybe a bit much. But do have yourselves, like I was saying, a wonderful night and weekend, folks. I will try and record tomorrow's video later today, but my voice is like shot. I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm gonna try and record tomorrow's video after the stream today. It's gonna be a tough one. We're hanging out in Discord later today as well. Hopefully watching Mortal Kombat later today, and we can talk about that if anybody else is watching that. But folks, that is all for today. A massive thanks, as always, to all of the channel members and patrons who've been supporting the channel on a monthly basis. Again, y'all keep us alive and running smoothly. I appreciate it greatly. I appreciate it as well, of course, all of y'all who come through to watch. live or after the fact, just keeping us going. It's fantastic to see that so many episodes in, like I was saying earlier, we are still going strong with this story. We're still trying to make things work out. Folks. Wait, what's that? Spindle says, hope the budget gets topped off soon with all that eco boost. You'd hope so, right? Our economy's recovered a little bit. That budget, though, still at -4. We'll see. We'll see. All right, folks. Have yourselves a wonderful Friday. I'll catch y'all in Discord. And those of you that aren't in the Discord, link is in the chat right now. Thanks to Halthor. If I don't catch you in the Discord, I will hopefully catch you on Monday as we begin for the first time ever our Crusader Kings 3 Iceland run. That is the first time we're playing in Iceland. Until then, cheers.